Right, stop what you're doing. Because if you're an Arsenal fan and you haven't heard this news yet, you need to hear it right now. Bukayo Saka and Eberechi Eze could both be back this weekend against Bournemouth at the Emirates in a Premier League title race that we simply cannot afford to mess up. This is not a drill, this is not rumours, this is real. And honestly, it changes everything. Let's set the scene first before we get into the good news. Let's be honest about where Arsenal have been recently, because context matters. We lost the FA Cup to Southampton, at home. A late goal knocked us out, and honestly, that one still hurts. Then we went to Lisbon to face Sporting CP in the Champions League quarter-final first leg, without Saka, without Eze, without Timber. That's three of our most important attacking players just gone, and we've been managing. The lads have been doing their best. Young Max Dowman has been genuinely brilliant every time he's come on, and I say that with full respect, because that kid is something special. But you can't keep asking a teenager to carry your title run. That's not fair on him, and it's not sustainable for us. So yeah, the injury list has been long, the anxiety has been real, and every Arsenal fan has been refreshing their phones looking for updates. Well, the update has arrived. Bukayo Saka, the main man, is nearly back. Let's start with the big one. Bukayo Saka. He's been out for about 3 weeks now. He pulled out of the England squad during the international break. Arteta basically admitted that Saka was at around 70%, and they just couldn't risk him. Smart decision? Probably yes. Painful in the moment? Absolutely yes. He missed the Southampton FA Cup game. He didn't travel to Lisbon, and every Arsenal fan watching those matches knew exactly what was missing. That electric dribbling on the right, that link-up play, that ability to just change a game by himself. But here's the thing, Mikel Arteta has come out and said he is hopeful Saka will be available for this Saturday against Bournemouth. And with Arteta, when he says hopeful, he usually means the player is close. This isn't a manager playing mind games. This is genuine optimism. Fabrizio Romano, who has been tracking the Arsenal squad situation closely, has also noted that the mood inside the club is positive around Saka's return. The muscle issue that kept him out appears to have responded well to treatment, and the plan was always to have him back by the Bournemouth game if everything went smoothly. And from what we're hearing, everything is going smoothly. Is this big? Of course it's big. Saka has been Arsenal's best player this season. He's been involved in goals, assists, big moments. He recently hit 300 appearances for the club and signed a long-term contract extension. This man is Arsenal's future and present at the same time. When he plays, we look like a completely different team. When he doesn't, you can see it. The width is different. The threat is different. The confidence of the whole attack is different. Getting him back for Bournemouth and then potentially the Sporting second leg is massive, like genuinely massive. Eberechi Eze, the one nobody expected back this soon, okay. Now this is the one that surprised me. Eberechi Eze got injured in the Champions League game against Bayer Leverkusen. He scored an absolutely brilliant opening goal. Classic Eze, by the way. That man has a gift for the big occasion, and then he had to come off with a calf problem. He then missed the Carabao Cup final. He missed the England squad, and early reports were saying he could be out for up to 6 weeks. 6 weeks, that was the original timeline. So Arsenal fans had basically written him off until late April at the earliest. Some people were even worried about whether he'd play a significant role in the run-in at all. But then something interesting happened. The scan results came back and the news was better than expected. According to multiple reports, Eze's calf injury is not as serious as first feared. The medical team at Arsenal have been working with him carefully, and the latest information suggests he could be cleared to return for the Bournemouth match this Saturday. Let me say that again. A player who was supposed to miss 6 weeks could be back in less than 4. Now, should we be cautious? Yes. Always yes with calf injuries. Calf problems can be tricky. They can come back if you rush things. And Arteta has been very careful with his players all season. He's not going to throw Eze back in and risk making things worse. But the fact that the news is this positive, that's not nothing. That's Arsenal's medical team doing a proper job and Eze working his socks off in recovery. Fabrizio Romano has also indicated that Arsenal remain optimistic about Eze's availability and that the week-by-week monitoring of his condition has been showing positive progress. Nothing is confirmed until the team sheet drops, but the signals are good. And honestly, if Eze is back, that's a huge bonus, because this Arsenal side looks completely different with him in it. He brings creativity, he brings direct running, he brings goals from unexpected positions. He's been one of the signings of the season across the whole Premier League, not just at Arsenal. The guy has been outstanding whenever he's been fit. What about Jurriën Timber? While we're here, let's talk Timber too. He picked up an ankle injury in the win over Everton. He missed the Carabao Cup final. He didn't travel to Lisbon. And his absence has been really felt on the right side of Arsenal's defence, because when Timber is playing well, he is one of the best right-backs in the country. But Arteta has said he hopes Timber will be ready for the weekend as well. So we could potentially be looking at 3 first-team players coming back in one go. Saka, Eze, Timber, all potentially available for Bournemouth. I'm not going to lie, when I first read that, I did a double take. That's not just a boost, that's basically a squad resurrection. What this means for Arsenal, the analysis let me break this down properly, because it's not just about individuals coming back, it's about what it means for the whole team structure. When Saka plays, Arsenal's right side is elite. Timber bombing forward, Saka cutting inside, combining with each other. It's genuinely one of the most effective attacking partnerships in European football right now. Teams know it's coming and they still can't stop it. That's how good those two are together. When Eze plays, Arsenal's midfield and attack has another gear. He connects play differently. He can come inside from the left, he can drop into pockets of space, he can score goals that nobody else in the squad can score. His arrival at Arsenal was a huge statement from the club, and he has absolutely lived up to it. Now imagine having all of that back for the run-in, for the Premier League title race, for the Champions League quarter-final second leg against Sporting. Arteta must be feeling something close to relief right now, because this squad, fully fit, is genuinely capable of winning both. That's not hype. That's just looking at the quality available. The Bournemouth game itself, Arsenal are massive favourites. Win probability data puts Arsenal at around 67.5%. Bournemouth are a decent side, but they are not set up to go to the Emirates and get a result against a full-strength Gunners team. If Saka and Eze start, I'd back Arsenal to win comfortably. But more than just the 3 points, this is about momentum. Arsenal need a performance. They need to remind everyone, including themselves, that they are still in this title race and they are still a serious Champions League contender. A dominant win over Bournemouth, with the stars back, would send a message. Are there any concerns, though? I don't want to be all sunshine and no shade, because that's not honest football analysis. So let me flag a few things. First, Piero Hincapié. He's still out, and Arteta hinted that his injury could actually be serious. We might not see him again this season. That's a real loss in the defensive setup, and it's something to keep an eye on. Second, Mikel Merino. He had foot surgery back in February and is in a race to feature again this season. No guarantees there. He's been brilliant in midfield when fit, and his absence has definitely been felt. Third, even with Saka and Eze returning, they won't necessarily be at 100% immediately. Coming back from injury always takes a game or two to get back to full sharpness. Arteta will have to manage their minutes carefully, especially with the Sporting second leg coming just 4 days after Bournemouth. So it's not all perfect, but compare it to where we were last week, with half the squad injured and a Champions League quarter-final coming up, we're in a much better place, significantly better. Real talk. A few questions for you. I want to hear what you think, because this is a conversation, not a lecture. Do you think Arteta should start Saka straight away on Saturday or ease him in from the bench? I honestly go back and forth on this one. Part of me says start him, we need to be at full strength and win convincingly. The other part says protect him for Sporting's second leg. What would you do? And what about Eze? 6 weeks turned into potentially less than 4. Are you fully confident in his fitness, or does the calf injury make you a little nervous? Because personally, I'm slightly cautious. Calf injuries have a habit of coming back, but I also trust the Arsenal medical team after the job they've done this season. And finally, does Arsenal actually win the Premier League title this season? Because if the squad is back to full strength, I genuinely think the answer is yes. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. The bigger picture, let me zoom out for a second. Because sometimes in football you get lost in the week-to-week news and you forget to look at the bigger picture. Arsenal this season have been incredible, genuinely incredible. Yes, there have been bumps, the Carabao Cup final defeat to Man City, the FA Cup exit, some nervy league results. But this club is in a Champions League quarter-final. They are in a Premier League title race. They have young players like Max Daumann absolutely thriving. They have Saka signing a long-term deal, committing his future. They have a manager in Arteta who clearly knows what he's doing and has built something real at this football club. And now, at the most important moment of the season, the cavalry is coming back. Saka, Eze, Timber, all potentially available for the run-in. Fabrizio Romano has been clear about Arsenal's mentality inside the club. Despite the injuries, despite the setbacks, the belief hasn't dropped. The squad is together. The dressing room is strong. And that matters in April, when everything gets serious. This is the moment. This is what the whole season has been building towards. And Arsenal are getting their best players back just in time. You couldn't script it better. So look, where does this leave us? Arsenal versus Bournemouth, Saturday, and we could have Saka and Eze both back on that pitch. If that happens, I don't just want a win, I want a statement. I want a performance that tells the whole league, we're here, we're healthy, and we're coming for everything. The title race isn't over, the Champions League isn't over, and with the squad getting back to full strength, I genuinely believe this Arsenal team can do something special before this season ends. But hey, football always surprises you, and that's why we love it. Drop a comment, let me know, are you confident, nervous, excited, all three at the same time, because I know I am.